Hello folks and welcome to Linux for Seniors. This is my second project in the last 4 years. My previous channel I had a little over 400 videos. So this new YouTube channel, Linux for Seniors, I'm going to slow down a little bit and none of my videos will be under 2 minutes. If you are looking for something in a rush, I'd say go somewhere else. But more importantly, I'm not being rude. I'm just saying you need to be patient if you're going to watch some of my videos because I'm going to take my time explaining things. If you're liking that kind of information where people explain things in a simpler format, then stay and keep watching. I do encourage that you subscribe for multiple reasons. One, you can start this video and my other videos on my YouTube site, and my library is growing. Then you can come back tomorrow, start where you left off the following day or whenever you have time. Welcome to Linux for Seniors. So I am going to go and open up Terminal first and give you a tour of elementary OS. But I am going to first give you NeoFetch information on a terminal. NeoFetch is something I installed, but more importantly, it just gives me system information. That's just Elementary's logo. As I move along, when I get into the web browser, I'll take you on a brief tour of my YouTube site and give you some tips on searching and also some other information. And there'll be a link also that you can see other Linux distributions and this one included. Elementary OS. This is a Pantheon desktop. Now a lot of people will go, what do you mean by desktop? Okay, so you may have heard these buzzwords around. I have like an XFCE desktop or a Cinnamon desktop or a Plasma desktop. It's just the interface you have with your computer. So some of the other distributions, Elementary only offers the Pantheon. I'll give you one example because this is an Ubuntu-based system. So Linux Mint is another one that has 3 different desktops, Cinnamon, Mate, and XFCE, for an example. So it's your interface to the system. Also, too, a lot of people shy away from this wonderful box. I say don't, because you can install NCal. You can do this manually, and then you can do wonderful things like simple calendars. And you're laughing going, well, there is one up here, isn't there? Yes, there is. However, this calendar can do some special stuff, like taking a guess on if you punch in somebody's month and year, you can guess their birthday and what day of the week they were born on. So whether you use January or the number 1, it doesn't really matter. All you need to do is install NCal, and I'll show you this afterwards. It's really simple. Put in cal space, the number 1 for January and a year. I'll say 1967. How's that? So that's the calendar from 1967. So if you got a friend born January 1967 and your friend was born, let's say, on the 18th, he or she was born on a Wednesday, you can have all kinds of fun with your friends and family. Now, if I wanted to change the date, I can hit the upper arrow key to repeat that and hit my backspace to erase this. Now I'll switch it up by using letters, like February would be FEB. Let's try a B. It helps if you punch in the right letters, February, but FEB is close enough. And then you can put in, like, let's say 2001. Same deal. You've got a friend born February 2001, family member, whatever. They were born on the 12th. They were born on a Monday. I'm going to throw some trivia just to have some fun, folks. I've done this on several other videos. If you've seen those and you're bored, just hold on. So for other folks. So I'm going to actually type this in manually now, cal, and then JUL, or can I use the month 7? Sure, you can. But I'll just type it out. JUL for July, 1776. This distribution is from the United States, so that's one of the reasons I'll pick this, and I also like to just throw out trivia at people. So July 4th, 1776 is Independence Day in the United States. What day of the week did that fall on? We can open up a web browser and find this, but this terminal can do this in 1 second. That day fell in on a Thursday. So July 4th, 1776 was on a Thursday. Now I'm going to punch up clear to clear the screen. That's all that command does. And type in history. And show you just a simple, couple of little simple commands. First of all, there's the calendar things I was just playing with, and you can have the fun too. The only thing you need to do is install it. That is the command for that. It's called ncal. Let me break this command down for you. So the same command was used to install neofetch. So if I drop this highlighted bar here, this is the command for installation. Sudo, let me drop this down a little bit simpler for you. It means super user do. In other words, it gives me elevated privileges to perform installations, for instance. apt space install, it's important you put the space in there, is the command for installing something. And in this case, the name of the application or program is ncal. The name of the application up here is neofetch. The name of the other application is one word, simple screen recorder, and that is what I'm using to record this video. You don't have to use this, by the way. I am using this because I'm using the live version. I just quickly needed to install stuff. You can use your App Center for installing software, but I'm just showing you how simple, and well, you've got a lot of options. So I could also type in exit to get out if I don't want to aim for that close button, and that'll close that. All right, applications. What comes installed with this? Well, you have the App Center, which when I get into that, I'll try to remember when I open it up, just to remind you that this is a live copy, so I'm not going to be able to show you a lot of applications, and I don't know the total capacity of their App Center currently. I looked at this distribution last year. So calculator, calendar, you also have the calendar down here. I'll talk about that in a minute. And you can have all of these other little applications that are installed normally. Gparted is a partition editor for your hard drive. Clicking on page 2, I installed Simple Screen and VLC actually on a terminal. Okay, so I'll talk about the web browser in a minute here. So what can you do over here? You can click the calendar thing. I think I already walked through this menu here. If I didn't, I'm just quickly going to go over this. I think I did. Right clicking on the screen, you can change your wallpaper. My resolution is not that great, but anyways, wallpaper and screen resolution. Multitask view kind of just brings that into view to what's running. Simple screen recorder is currently running. I'm going to hit the escape key. File manager. You've got your file manager. You can resize icons rather easily. I'm going to hold down the control key with my left hand. I am right-handed and using the computer scroll wheel to scroll up and down to change these icons. That's just my hidden trick. This comes in handy when you're doing like photographs. So you can also bring in photos, digital photos of your children, your pets, even wallpaper off the internet, and throw it into a folder and right-click and set it as background. It's really, really easy. Let me show you a trick how to resize these in a hurry. Hold down the control key. Again, I'm doing this with my left hand because it's nice and convenient. And then I'm going to use my my computer mouse and scroll wheel to scroll up and down to make these larger. You can also open these. There's some extra tools for you here. All right. Now, a lot of people that are not used to this distribution will notice that the close button is sitting off here to the left instead of the right. And then a lot of people also do not know that you can double click on this imaginary line to make this large. This is a hidden trick. You can also resize it here. Okay, just wanted to point that out. I'm going to resize these icons a little bit smaller. And once I resize it to the thumbnail that I want, now I can use the scroll wheel normally. Or if you feel more comfortable, grab a hold of the little guy down here. Just some little tips and tricks for you folks. If you don't like the size of these icons, the way it's displayed, I should say, then you can click 3 different display views of your icons. You can actually do the same with your, I'll do the same thing with the thumbnails, if you like to look at it in that format. Okay. So, and you can double click on this, of course, to open them. So going back to these icon view and that, I'll talk about, there's a couple of folders that most people are mostly aware of. You know, your document, your music, your pictures. Maybe you have some videos, maybe you have some downloads. That's very typical if you download something. And a trash can. I also have some internal storage. Most of these I cannot click on because I don't have permissions to do that on this stick. Because that's what I did to some of these drives myself. I do have permissions on this one though, where I can actually pull files off this drive. And it's pretty simple to just copy and paste stuff. I also have a USB stick with 2 partitions on them that I can access. So that's just a PDF. I'm waiting for it to open. Again, the close button's over here, folks. Double click on that line to make it big. It's just an owl. Double click on that line to make it smaller. Or I could just use that bar. Okay? Whichever. Okay, again, I'm running this from the live copy, so just be aware of that. So that's the file manager in a nutshell. Now, let me close that and walk over to this web. So this is the web browser in here. I don't know if it has identification on here. I don't see it. Oh yeah, Firefox Sync. So it's obviously Firefox. Anyways, my new YouTube site, I'm going to click the About section just for a second to let you see that I just started this new YouTube page, Linux for Seniors. My previous YouTube site used to have about 400 videos. So as the videos grow in this library, you can manually click on these things. But more importantly, after you become a subscriber, you may want to use the, and I'm going to pause my loud mouth over here. Sorry about that. But anyways, you may want to use the search feature to go search for keywords. You'll need a regular web browser to do this. If you're using your mobile device, normally your YouTube mobile device does not have this magnifying glass. It does have the other one. This will be searching all of YouTube. This is only my YouTube site here. And this is usually available on standard web browsers. Okay. The other thing about, let me scroll to the bottom, there's some links for you. And I will be adding some more and changing these periodically. Most of the time I'll leave these 2 though. Distro Watch is what I'm going to click on in a second. And the reason my mouse is pulsating, again, I'm running this off of a USB stick with no proprietary drivers, for instance, for the video part. So known-look.org is where I can get some extra mouse pointers and also themes. There's also a link to linux.com and its FOSS. All about open source software. Let's go to DistroWatch for a second and talk about this distribution, or even others. So DistroWatch is a wonderful site if you have not discovered it for all kinds of Linux information, and more importantly, the page hit ranking area are all different distributions, and some contain more than one desktop. So elementary is number 13. I'll click on it, and I'll wait for this thing to load. And it will give me a screenshot of essentially what I have currently open. It's an example. So Elementary OS is a Debian Ubuntu-based system. There are quite a few out there. I'll just name one. Linux Mint is one. Linux Mint has 3 desktops. So this one has only one, Pantheon. This is out of the country of the United States. It's a beginner's category and they offer a live medium. What is that? If you are on DistroWatch and see that word, that means you can click on it, download the computer image. As long as you know how to burn that image onto a USB stick or DVD, you can get a friend or you can look up that information also. You burn that on and you boot it up on your machine and you test drive it without installing it. That's what I'm getting at. That's what a live medium means. That's what I'm running right now. Let's go take a look at their website because this scares people that are used to not seeing this. So a lot of developers spent a lot of their personal time and also just general working off of a shoestring budget. So some folks like them will ask you for a donation to their cause because they spent a lot of their time developing this software. So they're asking you what you can pay. Now this says purchase. If you just want to test drive it, you can theoretically just go 0. And now this changes to download. Okay, just wanted to point that out. So don't forget to subscribe. Now I'm going to close this. Close button is here. So what happens when I click on this? It just minimizes that. Okay. All right, moving along. Here's mail. I'm not going to open that one. Tasks, same deal. Here's your calendar. You can put in events, and then I believe it populates in here also. And then you have your music player, your video player, your photos, your settings, which there's too many to go through, but if you decide to install this distribution, you can go through the settings, all kinds of little things to click on. And again, I'm going to open up the App Center, and it's not promising. It'll say live. It'll more likely, yeah, running in demo mode. So you're not really going to get a lot of information from me today. I do not know how many total applications they have on their software store. But anyways, it is what it is. So again, this is a Debian Ubuntu-based system. So as you probably know, some of that software comes from Ubuntu. All right, with that said, since I'm running in demo modes, I'm really not going to click around in here, but you get the idea. This will be the point and clicks kind of installations. This is Simple Screen Recorder. That is not going to be on your distribution because unless you have installed it, I'm running this so I can record this video. So lots of little things in here. Hopefully you found this informative. And don't forget to subscribe, and that way you can watch this video and others in its entirety over several days if you like. And my video channel, or YouTube channel I should say, is growing. So thank you so much for watching, and you have a wonderful day.